Your hands are shaking, your heart is pounding so hard you can hear it. In 5 minutes, you have to speak in front of 50 people, and you are absolutely terrified. Does that sound familiar? By the end of this video, I'm going to show you 5 proven techniques that will turn those nerves into confidence. I've been there myself many times. One of the most nerve-wracking experiences for me was when I spoke at a memorial service after a good friend of mine had passed away. Not only did I have the usual public speaking jitters, I wanted to get through my part without being overcome with emotions. In other words, I wanted to stay composed while I was sharing stories and speaking about the wonderful memories I had. My speech was scheduled for the end of the service, and during the hour that I was waiting, I remember sitting in the pew and I had to keep my feet planted on the ground because my legs were shaking. I was a little cold and very nervous to be speaking in front of many friends. I wanted to honor my friend's memory. In order to keep my mind focused on the task at hand and prevent myself from getting that panicked feeling, I used some of the techniques I'm going to share with you. By the time I started speaking, I actually felt a sense of calm come over me. I was relaxed, and that allowed me to be present in the moment. Let's dive into the tips. The first technique is something I teach all of my clients, and honestly, I use it myself before every big moment. It's called the 4x4 reset breath. It's simple, it's discreet, and it does really work fast. Here's how to do it. You inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale through your mouth for 4 seconds, pause for 4 seconds, repeat it 4 times. So let's try it. You're going to inhale, exhale, wait, and do it again. This pattern signals to your nervous system, we're safe, we're good, we've got this. Athletes use it, broadcasters use it, executives use it too before big speaking engagements. And the best part, you can do it backstage, in the hallway, or even sitting at a conference table without anyone noticing. One thing to remember when you're feeling that severe sense of anxiousness, your body actually can't stay in that state forever. You will come back down to normal. Yes, it will happen. When you're using this breathing technique, your body has no choice but to simply calm down. Do the breathing before you start to talk so that when you launch into your presentation, you're starting with a calm sense about you. If you don't breathe and start with a racing heartbeat and shaky hands, it's very difficult to get back to normal while you're speaking. Then you might start spiraling or even feel lightheaded. Getting yourself calmed down is the first thing you need to do. Now, when I was sitting in the pew, I was listening to what the priest was saying, and I was listening to the prayers and the music. And every few minutes, I would start to think about the fact that I need to give my talk coming up. So, what I would do to calm myself down was this breathing technique. I would start to feel that anxious feeling, and then I would simply stop and breathe. And then my body would become relaxed, and then I could once again listen, stay in the moment. And then if I started to feel anxious again, I would do the breathing technique. I probably did the breathing technique, I don't know, maybe like 8 or 10 times throughout that hour. But as I mentioned earlier, when I got up to speak and I started talking, I did feel a sense of calm, and I was so grateful for that. The next technique is build your confidence list. Now, right before we speak, imposter syndrome loves to show up. Your brain says, who are you to talk about this? Everyone will see you're a fraud. Have you ever felt like that? I have. This is especially common when you are scheduled to do your presentation after someone else who is a really good speaker. Now, to stop that spiral, you build your confidence list. Here's how you do it. You write down 10 times you succeeded at something difficult, anything big or small. Closed a tough sale, helped someone through a crisis, mastered a new skill, received genuine praise for your work. Keep that list on your phone, and when anxiety hits, just read through that list really quickly. Your brain cannot argue with evidence. Now, why would this help you? It's because we tend to downplay all the other things that we're good at because we get nervous about doing public speaking. And in the moment, that's all we can think about is this task at hand, and it feels monumental. And when you're following someone who seems to do it so easily and is naturally good at it, then we tend to think of ourselves as, oh, I'm just this person who gets so nervous and feels like I'm just less than when I have to talk in front of a crowd. But you have to remember all the things that you're good at. And all those things that you're good at, you probably worked at them for a while before you got good at them, right? If you don't do public speaking very often and you do it once in a while, you're going to have that feeling that, oh, I'm just not good at this and I'm so nervous and you can't even get over yourself. You can't get it out of your own head. But when you think about everything that you're good at and all that you have accomplished in your life, then it really puts things into perspective. Let's move on to tip number 3, your calming affirmation. Words matter, especially the ones that we say to ourselves. When your thoughts are racing all over the place, use this affirmation. Slow down. You've got this. Just talk. Here's why it works. Slow down reminds you to breathe and pace yourself. You've got this builds confidence. Just talk reminds you that this is something you do every day, right? You talk all the time. So here it is. Slow down. You've got this. Just talk. I want to elaborate a little bit more on just talk. Generally, when you're giving a speech or a presentation, you know your material better than anyone, so you don't have to memorize it. Maybe you have notes, maybe you're reading from a teleprompter, but you really do know your material. And if you don't, then you should get back to studying and make sure you know it. When we try to memorize something, if we start to get nervous or if we lose our place or there's a noise in the room or something happens and there's something that interrupts us and we have to get back, if we've memorized things and we don't really know them solidly, then it's hard to get back to where we're supposed to go. So memorization is generally not the way to go. Just talk, just rely on your knowledge and your expertise and make sure you know your material really well. Tip number 4, reframe pressure as practice. Here's a mindset shift that really changes everything. Stop seeing high stakes presentations as make or break. You can look at them as practice opportunities. Think about athletes. They don't only perform on game day, they practice thousands of times. Your presentation, it's just another opportunity for you to practice. You just happen to have an audience. This shift removes perfection pressure. It turns feedback into data, not criticism. No one expects you to be perfect. Think about when you watch a presentation and somebody makes a mistake. Maybe they introduce the wrong person or they pronounce a name incorrectly or say a number wrong. Maybe they go faster on their slides than they're supposed to. Do you really think about it for more than 2 seconds? Probably not, because we're human and we make mistakes. We correct ourselves and then we keep going, right? We don't have to be perfect. As long as you know your material, like I mentioned before, and then you keep moving forward, that takes the pressure off, right? Just go out there, do your presentation, give your talk. Don't expect to be perfect, but do look for opportunities to practice as much as you can. Let's talk more about practice for tip 5, daily low stakes practice. If you really want to conquer public speaking anxiety, practice when the stakes are low. You can tell a story at dinner, speak up in a meeting, record yourself explaining something. You can even talk through your ideas with your pet. Seriously. Why does this work? Because repetition builds confidence. Your brain learns, hey, we survive this every time. Maybe it's really not that dangerous. Now, getting back to the memorial service, what I did to make sure that I could get through it and I could deliver this speech without completely losing it, I wrote it about a week or so in advance, and I was told that it had to be 5 minutes, no longer than 5 minutes. The first time I wrote it, it was 8 minutes long. So I went through and I cut out some parts and I read it out loud to make it 5 minutes. So by then it was maybe 5 days before, and I practiced it every day. I read through it probably 5 or 6 times a day. I mean, that's how serious I was about making sure I delivered this okay. So I would read through it. So I was very comfortable by the time I got to the memorial service. I was very comfortable with the material. I knew the stories that I was going to tell, and I knew how I had condensed those stories so that I wouldn't go over my 5 minute limit, and that I would be able to deliver it. And also, I had heard myself say the stories so many times that it was less emotional for me as I practiced over and over again. So by the time I spoke at the service, I had probably gone through my 5 minute talk maybe about 25 or 30 times. So I practiced when I was at home, practiced in front of my dog. I was in the kitchen, and I just did that so that I would feel much better when the day came. Now, like I said before, I was still really nervous and my legs were shaking, but I was able to get through it. And you can get through anything as well. Start today, 2 minutes, low pressure. That's it. So there you have it. 5 proven techniques to transform anxiety into confidence: the reset breath, your confidence list, your calming affirmation, the practice reframe, and daily low stakes speaking. Which one are you going to try first? Drop a comment below. I read every one. And if you want more practical communication skills that actually work, hit subscribe. If you want to know more about working with me on your communication and presentation skills, book a call with the link below. You can easily up your game and become the leader you were meant to be.